Hi guys, today we will be discussing about the tutorial 7, which is basically about cloud ecosystem and risk management, and we'll be discussing about the cloud ecosystem information security risk, the risk management frameworks, risk management activities, and what are the good framework steps, what are the cloud providers risk management process, and the steps in adopting a cloud-based solution. So, without delay, let's go to the first slide, which is about the cloud ecosystem. So, a cloud ecosystem is the network of organizations, technologies, services, and users involved in delivering and consuming cloud services such as IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS, which is infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service by itself. Um, so cloud customer use cloud services to store data, run application, and support business processes. There can be third-party vendors which can provide security, monitoring, networking, identify other supportive services, and there can be partners, regulators, and stakeholders that influence the cloud operations. So how to manage the information security risk from the ecosystem level. So the first thing that we are going to be doing is to identify all organizations, system, data flows, how the data is flowing, through what networks, and so on, and dependencies within the cloud ecosystem. We'll be classifying information according to its sensitivity and business importance. So we will be prioritizing the things that are basically at higher risk level and that needs to be done at the very first beginning stage. So we need to protect the data through appropriate encryption, secure configuration and monitoring. We need to have regularly access to third party and supplier risk, monitor the ecosystem, and many more, which we'll be discussing further on. And the third slide is going to be expressing about the risk management framework. So it is a structured method for identifying, assessing, and treating the risk that are going to be arising within an organization. It also helps to an organization to make consistent security and risk decisions. This approach basically includes establishing context, identifying risk, analyzing and evaluating risk, treating and monitoring them. So what are the risk management activities? So the first one is going to be establishing the context, which we basically learned on the third slide. So establishing the context means understanding the business objectives, systems, stakeholders, and what are the risk criterias. We will be also learning about the risk identifications. What are the identifications are going to be like assets, threats, vulnerabilities, dependencies, and possible events. The other one is going to be the risk analysis, which is to estimate like likelihood and potential criteria and priorities. Um, we also the activities that also include are going to be the risk treatment, avoid, reduce, transfer, or accept risk according to the suitable controls or conditions. We also have communication and consultation, so we need to share the information with relevant stakeholders. So if they have any kind of ideas, we can just take them and just proceed further. After that, we have monitoring and review. We need to check the risk have been controlled and are effective or not. Recording and reporting, so that this condition, if appears later on, we can just see the report and move forward. So this is going to be the other slide, which we basically will be defining the scope, objectives, risk, and criterias. We will be identifying important assets, information, and dependencies. Um, the identified threats, vulnerabilities, likelihood to impact, the determine risk levels, prioritize risk that acquire actions, and many more, as we discussed in the earlier slide. So cloud providers risk management process is basically the same as the framework that already defined. So it's basically like incident detection, response, backup, disaster, preventive, detective, corrective, security control measures. We have a lot of different methods that we can use, understand the provider service architecture, customers, and critical access, and many more. So let's go to the sixth slide, which is adopting a cloud-based solution. So we need to define the business requirements and the problem the cloud solution must solve. We need to assess current systems, applications, data, and dependencies, identify security, privacy, compliance, performance, and availability requirements. This is basically like adopting the cloud-based solution, which is like what are the risks in the cloud system. We need to accept them, we need to solve them, we need to migrate the workloads, pilot test the system, migration, implementation, and many more, which is basically like the software testing. Yeah. Let's go to key takeaways. Things that we learned during our tutorial sessions was cloud security is a shared responsibility across an interconnected ecosystem. Risk management should cover the cloud provider, customers, suppliers, and dependencies. Risk management frameworks, risk identification, analysis, treatment, monitoring, and continuous should be continuous process. Let's go to the conclusion. To conclude the tutorial 7, we learned a cloud-based environment provides benefit but also introduces interconnected risk, and we need to monitor all those risks. There can be intensive, detensive, and many more kind of things that we need to keep in mind while doing a cloud while using the cloud-based environment. Managing this requires cooperation between all ecosystem participants, such as stakeholders, the testers, the designers, and the customers, and many more. A structured risk management approach helps organizations protect information and maintain business objectives. Cloud adaptation should be therefore combine technology decisions with security governance and ongoing risk management. That's all for week 7. Thank you.